the Israelis and their defenders to understand people hate Israel because they kill innocent people and they steal land. It's that simple. But according to Netanyahu, no. People hate Israel because of social media manipulation. Okay, here's what he said, quote, "I think there's been a concerted effort by several states to basically vilify Israel. I think you're doing a good job yourself, Netanyahu." He continues, "Primarily in the social media and the standard media too, but that's less effective." Yeah, because you guys are buying up legacy media. We know that it's less effective. But let's continue. "The effective thing is in the social media, and we've not fought back yet. So we will have to do that." Okay, what he means by social media is independent media, okay? He used to be able to get the major networks to serve as gatekeepers, protectors of Israel's treachery. But now the media landscape is far more diversified thanks to independent media. And there are some outlets that won't shut up, that won't be intimidated. Ours happens to be one of them. So he says we haven't fought back yet. Oh, you guys have fought back. You guys have tried to get my husband fired from his job. You guys have played all sorts of dirty little tricks. It's not gonna work, bitch. It's not gonna work. So come at us. It's not gonna happen. We're not gonna shut up. I will scream from the rooftops about Israel's treachery if this place goes under. I will never stop, never. Netanyahu is the enemy. And I won't stop until every single American realizes that.
Okay, so have they actually tried to win in social media? Of course. So I'm going to give you some of the tactics in a second. But they're basically saying, this is a confession, saying, look, we used to have mainstream media schmucks like you guys 100% under our control, and we still do. And that's why you call all of our critics anti-Semites and try to ruin their lives. You're part of our Gestapo, and we appreciate that. But now social media is proving more difficult to contain. That is the one thing Netanyahu is absolutely right about. He's right, social media is very hard to contain. So how have they tried to contain it? Well, they tried giving $7,000 to every influencer who kissed their ass. They tried to bully everyone who doesn't agree, put them on a top 10 anti-Semite list, including Mr. Rachel. Miss Rachel is a top 10 anti-Semite. So they tried their usual bullying, Gestapo, thuggish, terrorist tactics, destroy any American that dares to disagree. In fact, again, I had a speech this weekend. Every time I have a speech at a Muslim or Arab event, half a dozen people come up to me and tell me how they were fired from their regular jobs. Not media, not politics, because of a benign thing they put on social media. That Gestapo in this country is terrorizing innocent Americans every single day. But mainstream media is like, shh, not only are you not allowed to talk about it, if you talk about it, they'll send the Gestapo after you and say, oh, he's an anti-Semite, over there, attack him, destroy him. Because our mainstream media, Netanyahu's right, is the total bitch for Israel. They've been doing Israel's propaganda my whole life. As Israel attacks, takes more land, they're like, oh no, it is for self-defense. They are the victims. If you went and listened to mainstream media in America, you would think the Palestinians are occupying the Israelis, not the other way around. You'd be shocked to find out, no, Israel is the oppressor of the Palestinians for the last 58 years. Israel butchered the Palestinians in 1948, 1967, and ever since then. But so now social media is allowing that message to get out, and the $7,000 isn't working. So they bought TikTok, and that's what he means by we haven't started a fight yet. Larry Ellison, friend of the IDF, who likes to murder Palestinians and contributes money towards that, just bought TikTok. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do hand motions. Because hand motions are really problematic. Murdering 73,000 people in Gaza, ethnically cleansing 1 million people in Lebanon, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Let's condemn Israel's critics. So you try all those tactics, Benjamin Netanyahu, and all cable news anchors, and all of you powerful people in America that serve Israel like dogs, and we'll tell people the truth, and we'll meet you in social media and see who wins. My guess is we're gonna win because there's too many of us, and the dam is already broken, and we're already past the gates. So you keep trying to call the entire country anti-Semites, you try to bully and intimidate all of us, and try to destroy social media, and see how that works out for you, Benjamin Netanyahu, and the rest of you pigs in cable news and in the US Congress who all work for Israel.
So apparently Trump is calling for unity after another violent incident. But the way this gets covered depends on who's trying to spin it and who's willing to call it out. On the right, the framing turns Trump into some kind of heroic victim, a uniquely important figure being targeted because he's just that powerful. On the left, the focus is on Trump's long, obvious relationship with violent rhetoric and the political climate he helped create. Same event, completely different narrative. And that is exactly why I recommend Ground News. It's a website and app that pulls together reporting from across the political spectrum so you can compare headlines side by side, see the bias distribution of the coverage, check the factuality ratings of the sources, and even see who owns the outlets behind the reporting. Because once you start looking at coverage that way, it becomes a lot easier to see when the media isn't informing you, it's managing your perception. Ground News also has a blind spot feed, which highlights stories that one side of the political spectrum is barely covering at all, so you're not trapped inside the version of events your media bubble wants you to accept. If you're tired of being fed somebody else's narrative, I genuinely recommend Ground News. Go to ground.news/TYT or scan the QR code to get 40% off Ground News Vantage Plan.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.